And welcome back from here at the Farm Progress Show site in Boone, Iowa. And before we get to Matt Jungmann to talk about how final preparations are going, let me give you the poll results. This week we ask you what should be done with the renewable fuel standard. 66% of you responding say leave it alone, leave it as it is. 26% of you say end it altogether. 8% said grant a temporary waiver. So overwhelmingly, those of you responding to our poll question say leave the renewable fuel standard alone as it is. All right, thank you very much. We'll have another poll question for you next week. Our Farm Progress Show preview series brought to you by Syngenta. We've been coming out here or talking with over the phone Matt Jungmann for months now, and now we're just 18 days away, Matt, and it's amazing how much is done, is being done, and will be done in the next few days, moving right along.
It certainly is. It's kind of hard early in this preview series to tell you the changes. We're kind of picking on the little things, but now it's becoming pretty obvious that the show's coming together. The tent companies have been here for several weeks, and you spoke with Barb. The landscapers are doing their work. The electrician's been in for 2 weeks, and it's really starting to happen now.
You took me out on a tour of the exhibit field, and one of the things that stands out is the work being done on the roadways. Still gravel except for one this year, but you are getting close to having those paved over. That's
exactly right. A great partnership with Boone County, the Iowa Department of Transportation, the folks here at Central Iowa Expo. It's a big team that went together, and the Department of Transportation is using this facility as a research project because they can, it gets an intense amount of traffic over the course of the show, and then it sits for a while, so they can go in, cut it up, do research on it, check. I believe there's 9 different sub-base treatments out there that they've done, and they're doing that so that they can improve the roads throughout Iowa going forward. It's just a unique place where they're going to be able to do this kind of research, and the show's really going to benefit from it. By the time we come back in 2014, there will be 6 inches of asphalt all over the show site. You saw we have one of those streets done, so there's a sample of what the show site will look like that folks will get to look at here in the next couple weeks.
Several permanent structures are going up now.
Certainly are. Sukup is entering the building business, so there's a Sukup building going up, several grain bins. There are exhibitors making permanent infrastructure just part of their display. John Deere put down gravel. Unverfirth has grown and put down gravel on their exhibit. So, the roads are pretty well completed. They're done for right now until we get asphalt next spring. The gravel treatments on people's exhibits are done. The permanent structures are going up. The tents are probably 15% done at this point. And so, with this break in the weather that we've gotten, it's made it a lot easier on these guys to go out and actually do the work to build the show.
Speaking of weather, in this year of drought, you've actually had your share of storms move through lately.
Yeah, not all of them had enough water in them, but some of them had plenty of wind, and the corn has stood really well through that. We lost one tent early on, and one of the buildings that was just about ready to start taking tin ended up hitting the ground, but the team that's building that is right back at it, and they're going to have that ready to go come showtime. So we had some damage. The thing that you want is that first of all, nobody got hurt. Second of all, nothing impeded the ability to put the show on at the end of August, and so we're pretty fortunate right around here. Really fortunate, when you look at the corn across the country, we're really fortunate that we have corn out there that has ears on it that we're going to be able to do demonstrations on. The thing, and Eric will talk about his corn here in a little bit, but the thing that we need to make sure or hope for is that it's still standing come showtime because it's really maturing.
The first thing that struck me is how much greener things look here than much of Illinois and Missouri.
Well, that's right, and I think there was a time here about 3 weeks ago where it wasn't quite this green, but they've gotten 6 tenths and then another 3 tenths and a few rains that have come through that's really held it together, and the show site looks really, really good. Considering a drought year, you wouldn't expect to see as much green grass as we have out there on the show site.
Right, and we went out into the parking lot area. The alfalfa field's looking good too.
That's exactly right. That'll be the 4th cutting of alfalfa. That parking lot was the field demonstrations for the Hay Expo, and so Eric's gotten that timed up right. We're not going to be right up against the show getting that 4th cutting off. It's going to be pretty comfortable here leading up to the show. Everything is kind of timing up to work out really well.
Talking with Matt Jungmann, National Events Manager for the Farm Progress Show, and again it's 28th, 29th, and 30th of this month. So getting really close. Let's talk about the field demos. Shouldn't have any trouble having corn ready to be harvested during the show.
That's exactly right, and I think Eric can comment to this, but when you plant 78-day corn, that's a really, really, really early on. It's as early as it gets, and you average about 2,000 heat units from April 15th to August 15th. Well, we're way ahead on heat units this year. We plant a corn that if we got those 2,000 units, it would be black layering, now, and giving us 15 days to dry down, and then we're picking corn. We're so far ahead on the heat units that corn did a lot of its growing before it really got hot and dry, and so it's surprisingly good corn out there. It's not very tall, but it's surprisingly good corn out there.
Are you concerned? You're always concerned, I know, with timing. Here you moved the show up in recent years to the end of August. This year it looks like there may be a lot of harvesting going on in August.
Well, yeah, I think we're really, the calendar's just worked out that we're fortunate we're in Boone this year. If we were in Decatur, I would be really worried about the crowd, because I think, if you go south of 70, I'll bet there's a lot of combines rolling at the end of August. I think this little break here in the weather, maybe it's going to slow that corn down a little bit, add a few points of test weight to the corn, and give us a good chance to get all these folks to the show. Have one last day away from the farm. My father-in-law in Western Illinois, he's going to come and help at the show, and then just as soon as the show's over, he's going to go home and start picking corn. So we're going to be right on the cusp of some harvesting going on. But I think with this break in the weather, we're going to be okay. Give folks a chance to come out and visit the show.
The tractor pull during the show, that will be at the nearby Boone County Fairgrounds, right?
That's exactly right. Tuesday night and Wednesday night. Great Lakes Hybrids has helped us out with that. They're actually doing all the operations to put that together, but had the first one of those last year in Decatur, and that went really well, and we've kind of ramped up our support of that event, and they're looking forward to a really good event there at the Boone County Fairgrounds. Good opportunity to bring another thing into Boone. Boone County doesn't have a lot of hotel rooms, to take advantage of hosting the show, but the more that we can put together right here in the county is good.
Now you have cameras out there, so people can go online and see what we're talking about here.
That's right. We have 4 cameras. Raven has sponsored the webcams here and at Husker Harvest Days. And the Husker Harvest Days cams will be going up just in the next day or two. But we had a big storm come through 2 days ago, and I was actually able to sit in my office in the basement of my home in Western Illinois and watch that storm front come through here through the webcams. But it kind of gives you a feel for what stage we are with the tents going up, those kind of things. And then one of the cameras is aimed at the precision planting plot, as well as 2 of the field demo days. You can get a feel for how mature the field demo corn is with that camera.
Okay, in the next 18 days leading up to the show, how will it play out here?
Well, it's you had Barb on talking about the landscaping, and it's kind of a dance with these vendors. The tent frame goes up, and then the electrician comes in and digs into the electricity that they need at all their little stations. Then Barb comes in and puts the chips down, and then they skin the tent. The electrician comes back in, hangs the lights. It's just kind of a delicate little dance that happens on every one of those lots. Every one of them has a timeline, and thus far Mother Nature hasn't messed with it at all. So it gets really busy. There are just more and more people coming in. Official setup starts Monday, so starting next week, that's when the iron's going to start rolling in and populating the lots and start to make it look more like a farm show.
How many exhibitors?
Just under 600 exhibitors.
Yeah, it will pick up here in a hurry. And then as they come in and they set up, I mean, that actually goes right up to the morning of the opening day of the show, doesn't it?
Yeah, it would be great if they would all come in and get evenly set up between now and showtime, but that weekend before the show, and specifically that day before the show, and that's actually a result of the permanent sites. Everybody knows they're going to be able to drive right up next to their exhibit and get set up, and it's kind of taken a day out of their setup time, which was really packed a lot more action into that Monday. It gets pretty exciting there as we lead up to the show.
We'll be here on the Monday, right the day before the Farm Progress Show, with a preview show at that time as well. So we're going to actually have 4 days of coverage during the Farm Progress Show. All right, for a 3-day show, we'll have 4 days of coverage. We'll also be spending a day at Husker Harvest Days in Grand Island, and that's not very far away either.
No, it's exactly 2 weeks after Farm Progress Show. We'll all be, this traveling circus will all move out to Husker Harvest Days, and everything looks good out there. Obviously, everything is irrigated, so it hasn't been a very good year for the dryland corn, the pivot corners, that kind of thing. But in terms of the field demonstrations and the alfalfa demonstrations, everything is in good shape there. Just as much new building and action happening out there right now. Well, we have a new office and some other shuffling that's gone on the exhibit field. So it's going to be another year of it being a brand new Husker Harvest Days.
And finally, here in Boone, you and I, as we were driving around, I made the comment of how quickly it all comes together, and you said you ought to see how quickly it comes down.
Yeah, it's kind of amazing. That's probably the cool thing. One of the coolest things to watch is just how fast it disappears. There's basically two ways to get things out of this show site, and they are just packed for about 36 hours. And even the next morning after the show, 50% of the stuff is gone. And then within a week of the show being over, almost all the tents will be gone, almost all the iron will be gone. So we work all year on it. It takes about a month to build it, but then within a week of it being over, it's all gone again.
A lot of information and a lot of things can be done ahead of time for those coming to the show online.
That's exactly right. FarmProgressShow.com or HuskerHarvestDays.com. You can take a look at the webcams, kind of watch the show build as we go. That week and weekend before the show, you'll be able to see us taking the end rows off some of those field demo acres. You can get a chance to look through the show program here pretty soon. We're going to have that posted. A lot of things going on. Buy your advance tickets. Make your agenda for the show, your checklist of people you need to see. We've got new product introductions coming out. The first new combine being introduced in North America since 1998, with Versatile coming to the market with a combine. A lot to see and read about there on the website.
So you can kind of formulate a plan before you get here.
Most certainly. And with a show of this size, it'll print you out a map with all your highlighted points you wanted to catch, so that you can make really efficient use of your day. One more thing I want to thank Syngenta for these previews. I really appreciate you guys coming out here and putting the show together here, and I appreciate Syngenta's support of us being able to put the word out.
We do as well, and it's fun to watch it all come together and give people an idea when they come to the show what went on to make it all happen, because sometimes you can just kind of walk by things and almost take it for granted, but when you see it happening, you appreciate all the work that goes into it.
Well, certainly, and that's kind of the feel we wanted to give folks with the webcams, is that that there's a lot going on in advance to backing a bunch of tractors onto a lot. There's a whole lot going on in addition to all that.
Traffic, any changes?
No significant changes. We have Highway 30 out here, which is good. We're doing a few mechanical changes close to the show site so that we could flow people a little faster. We're going to flow exhibitors out a different route in the evenings so that they're not getting in with the visitor traffic. But it's one of those things where we're constantly refining, and traffic is one thing that we continue to work on here at the Boone site.
All right, Matt, thank you. We'll see you in a few days back here for the Farm Progress Show. I know you need to get back to Springfield, Illinois. You've got a daughter showing at the Illinois State Fair?
Well, my brother-in-law has something showing at the fair, so the whole family is going to go down and kind of wish him well on that one.
It'll be a family event. We'll be at this Illinois State Fair, by the way, on Tuesday of next week, at the Missouri State Fair on Monday. Thanks to Matt Jungmann, National Events Manager for Farm Progress. All right, coming up next, host farmer Eric Zeal will talk about how his crops are looking this year, and we'll see how he feels when you have a big building going up and see it come down and come back up again. That's what he's going through right now. A lot of construction right outside of where we're at here at the Farm Progress Show site. That's coming up next. Again, our Farm Progress Show preview series brought to you by Syngenta. This is AgriTalk.